Japanese fighter is the best fighter. In my opinion, I'm nobody, but I think he's the best.
Who do you think's number one right now in boxing, Inoue or Crawford?
Besides me, I think it's hard to say because both fighters are good. You choose.
Inoue.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, sir. No one ever asked me the question.
Terence Crawford, after his historic win over Canelo Alvarez, decided to walk away, leaving the sport's pound-for-pound #1 spot open and in total chaos. However, the debate for the throne might already be over. Naoya Inoue has just arrived in Saudi Arabia for his upcoming fight against David Picasso, and he isn't just there to defend his titles. His message to the world is loud and clear. There's a new king in town, and he has no plans on sharing the spot.
Terence Crawford recently announced his retirement, and he was the Ring Magazine #1 pound for pound. If you win on Saturday, do you think you deserve to be the #1 pound for pound fighter in the world? Do you think you deserve to be the #1 pound for pound fighter in the world after Terence Crawford has retired?
そうですね。クロフォードの引退というのは誰しもがいつか来る時だと思うので、パウンドパウンド1位になるにふさわしい試合を展開していきたいと思います。
Well, everybody will reach a certain point in their career to retire. So I would like to pan out a great match to be deserving for pound-to-pound or champion.
The boxing world was rocked to its core just days ago when Terence "Bud" Crawford took to social media to confirm what many feared but few expected so soon.
Yeah, you never know. I mean, you never know the background to these things, you know. Is it part of a wider negotiation? That's just me knowing the game. Are there lingering injuries, which might be more likely, you know, where every camp, was he 38 years old, 39? Like every camp gets very, very hard. For the boxing world and even for fight fans, it's not frustrating because it's his decision, but he's now reached that superstar status. You kind of want him to keep going, and it wasn't like his performance against Canelo showed signs of aging or anything like that, but he's also made a lot of money. What a time to bow out on top. You know, a lot of fighters have one too many. So maybe he feels like the way my body is, maybe I'll get beat and I don't need to get beat. I've got everything I've got. Or maybe he had a contract to fight someone else, but if he retires, he's not in that contract anymore, or it will give him greater leverage to negotiate a deal. That's just me being devious, which is part of my job. But it all depends on his body. I mean, that, you know, I wasn't being facetious before, but like, you never know the landscape of this, but more likely he's thought this is a good time to bow out, or got a few niggles and I don't think I should fight him. But if physically he's able, he's one of the greatest fighters of all time. So his IQ's on another level, but what is there to do? Like, he's not going to want to go and fight, I don't know, Jaron Ennis. Like, he's going to look at that and go, well, I'm going to fight a 28-year-old coming through, I'm giving you my legacy. Do you know what I mean? So I think bowing out at the top like that's pretty cool thing to do.
At 38 years old, fresh off becoming the undisputed champion in a third weight class, Crawford decided to walk away on his own terms. He didn't wait for a decline, he didn't wait for a loss, and he certainly didn't wait for a rematch with Canelo. He simply stated, "I've won a different kind of battle, the one where you walk away while the world still revolves around you." This wasn't just a retirement, it was a vacancy sign placed directly on the #1 pound-for-pound slot. For years, the debate has raged between Crawford, Alexander Usyk, and Naoya Inoue. Now, with the most versatile puzzle solver in the sport out of the picture, the hierarchy has shifted overnight. While the American media was still mourning Crawford's exit, Naoya Inoue was busy walking through the airport in Riyadh, looking entirely unfazed. When asked about Crawford's retirement, Inoue didn't offer a sentimental tribute or a shocked reaction. He was cold, calculated, and professional.
Crawford has retired. What do you make of that? And do you feel like you're the best pound-for-pound boxer on the planet now? What do you make of Crawford retiring?
必ずしも誰しもが来る時なので、何も別に思わないですよ。
I think it's like a thing that would like cross any fighter. It's something as a stage that would come to any fighter. So I'm not thinking anything about it.
He noted that every fighter eventually reaches that stage, but his focus remained razor sharp on the task at hand.
Mr. Hopping, Mr. Former pound-for-pound king. Who is the pound-for-pound king now? Is it Bud or is it the Monster from Japan?
No.
They're both bad boys.
I think it's a toss-up. I mean, I think it's really a toss-up in public opinion when it comes to those two. And that's why I stand out on that. But I think, again, it ain't one-sided. You remember this when you used to ask that question and you can say right off the back who it is. Right now, that's a good thing that you can't really say right off the back who it is. So that's why this year, doing good fights and the right fights, it's important this year because it will separate those debates. I think it will separate the debates. It might be 1 or 2% out there that's still, emotionally in love with their thoughts on who's this, but they would sound really stupid when they open their mouth at that time or that moment. But right now, that's why it's important that it clears out.
Terence is more Bernard Hopkins-like fighter, though.
Yo, he is. Terence is a beast, and he'll wait to prove himself again. But waiting when you're in your 20s, waiting when you're in your early 30s is different than waiting when you're in your late 30s or knocking 40. There's a whole new different wait because now time become now less favorable for you.
To Inoue, the P4P rankings aren't just a list, they're a reality he's been living for years. He's already expressed that he considers himself the best fighter on the planet. And with Crawford gone, the monster sees no more room for debate.
A lot has been made about the pound-for-pound list. I've been on record saying you're my #1 pound-for-pound. But the three guys that everyone talks about are you, Alexander Usyk, and Terence Crawford. Where do you rank yourself amongst the three in the pound-for-pound conversation?
でもいつでも自分が一番だと思ってやってますから。
Me too.
Two fighters that are either 1A, 1B, 1 and 2. In my opinion, it's Inoue then Bud. You can have Bud then Inoue. I don't mind. It's fine. But then there's a gap. That's about.
No. That's probably a gap between Bud and Inoue.
But based on what? Let me ask you that.
He beat a world class.
Which weight class? How many weight classes has he gone up?
No, I'm talking about who.
Bud?
No. Hold on. Has Inoue beat a world class, one of the greatest all time welterweight?
He's not welterweight. What kind of sense does that make?
Has he beat somebody that great?
Where is Nonito Donaire going after his career? Hall of Fame?
Is he?
Beat him twice.
Yeah, but he will be a level of Spence.
This was his 4th division that he moved up. Bud's been up 3, and again, those two are extremely close.
And what
he's moving up from 3rd grade weight. That's easy to move up.
Easy. Well, how come everybody else doesn't do it?
Who's the #1 pound-for-pound fighter today? Terence Crawford or Naoya Inoue? Both are undefeated, but Inoue rocks a 90% knockout ratio. This dude puts out more lights than Con Ed, which is especially impressive being that he fights at bantamweight with the little guys. Now, Crawford has a 76% knockout ratio, and Crawford famously knocked out everybody he fought at welterweight, stopping dudes dead in their tracks like he's a crossing guard. Now, Inoue's resume has lesser-known fighters because he's in the lower ranks, and Crawford, of course, fought in the star-studded welterweight division with many more bigger names, and of course, his Superman status victory over Errol Spence in their mega fight. So these guys, in many people's eyes, are going toe-to-toe, neck and neck in the rankings.
But the drama in Saudi Arabia isn't just about who left the sport, it's about who is stalking from within. Junto Nakatani, the terrifying 3-division champion and Inoue's fellow countryman, is on this very same card. Nakatani recently made a bold power play, publicly declaring that Inoue is the current P4P #1. On the surface, it sounded like respect. In reality, it was a threat.
Who do you think, Junto Nakatani, who do you think is pound-for-pound #1 boxer on the planet right now?
僕の名前を言いたいところですけど、井上選手を評価しているので、その井上選手に勝ってパウンド・フォー・パウンド1位になりたいなっていうふうに思ってます。
I would have been preferred if I could say I myself, but he's embarrassed. But Inoue.
Are you looking to break into the top 5 pound for pound with a win on Saturday night?
ヘルナンデス選手もいい選手なんで、そういう選手をノックアウトすればいい評価をもらえるかなっていうふうに思ってます。
Fernandez is a very good player, so if I knock out him, I'm going to be also evaluated well for my performance.
Nakatani followed up that praise by confirming he is moving up to super bantamweight specifically to hunt down the man he just complimented.
May 3rd, 2026, it looks like you will be fighting Inoue. How excited are you to just have that in the plans for 2026?
2026年は世界チャンピオン、スーパーバンタム級で世界チャンピオンになるっていったところを目標にしてるので、そこをしっかり成し遂げて、また新たな景色が見えてくるかなっていうふうに思っています。
For 2026, I'm looking forward to become the world champion of the Super Bantam class, and so I'm going to do my best in every match.
Could I ask you about Crawford retiring? What did you think about that?
すごくリスペクトしてますし、その決断をしたっていうことに対しては、それが彼の人生なんだろうなっていうのはすごく思ってリスペクトしたいなっていうふうに思ってます。
I respect his decision. Should have been very important match for him, so I respect his decision.
It's not just the fans and rivals talking either. The elite of the elite have been forced to reckon with the monster's dominance. Alexander Usyk, the man many still argue should be number one, has consistently shown immense respect for Inoue's perfect technical ability. Even Shakur Stevenson, one of the most vocal and self-assured fighters in the world, has admitted he spends hours studying Inoue's film. Stevenson calls him a generational talent and has even dared Inoue to keep moving up in weight to face him. When the most skilled boxers in the world are using your fights as a textbook for their own training, the P4P debate starts to feel like a formality.
Is Inoue better than Crawford? But listen, whichever way you slice it, Inoue, Crawford and Usyk have to be in the top three. My argument for Usyk is size. He's fighting people that are biologically not just bigger than him, but his opponents have the most physical variety in terms of height, dimensions, styles. That is the most diversity.
If there was a fighter that I wanted to fight for my life, I'm picking Crawford.
Yeah.
Like, that's if based on ability and technical ability, like Crawford ain't getting dropped by Lewis Neri. Inoue though, based on the fact that he's fought at multiple weight classes and he's won the most belts out of the three, you can give him a claim to be number one.
The technical diversity of Crawford's resume and then the physical diversity of Usyk's resume, and I think based on that, Inoue comes number three.
What separates Inoue from the likes of Crawford or even Canelo right now isn't just the wins, it's the sheer velocity of his career. As we head into the end of 2025, Inoue is doing the unthinkable, fighting for the fourth time in a single calendar year. In an era where top stars fight once every 12 months if we're lucky, Inoue is operating like an old-school throwback. He destroyed Akhmadaliev, handled Cardenas, and is now jumping straight into the ring with David Picasso. This level of activity is shrouded in risk. One bad night, one moment of fatigue from this grueling schedule, and the P4P dream collapses.
How have you found it keeping so active, fighting 4 times this year? How have you found it being such an active year and having so many fights in 1 year?
ここの1年4回試合されることなんですが、そのことについてどう思いますか？
戦うことは苦ではないので、非常に充実した1年が過ごせたと思います。
On Saturday, you'll be the first person to defend the Ring magazine title 4 times in a year since 1983. What does that mean to you to defend it so many times and make history like that?
リングマシンの
なるほどね。そのね記録というかその年4っていうのは今初めて知ったので、すごく偉大な記録というかそういった意味のある試合だなと実感してます。
But the monster doesn't do safe. He does history. Standing in the way of this legacy is Alan David Picasso. At 32 and 0-1, the Mexican challenger is the definition of a trap fight. While the world is busy talking about Crawford's retirement or a potential Nakatani showdown in May, Picasso is the hungry lion with absolutely nothing to lose. He's younger, taller, and carries the traditional Mexican warrior spirit, Rumors from his camp suggest they've found a glitch in Inoue's aggressive style, aiming to use educated volume to force the champion into a defensive shell. If Inoue is looking past this weekend toward his new status as the face of boxing, he might find himself staring at the ceiling of the Mohamed Abdo Arena.
There's another tornado brewing over there in the name of Inoue.
He just won.
That is a bad dude, you hear me? Say what they want, I know he way over there in Japan or wherever he is, but that is a bad dude. You understand me? They don't give him the credit because we don't see him that much. That dude right there, I think that dude really is pound for pound number one. He just don't have the competition at that weight class to have that big fight to get it right now. And the United States don't know him because we don't have big fighters in his weight class over here that we know that good.
We only seen him against Fulton.
You feel me? So
he dominated Fulton.
You feel me? The one that we did have, look what he did to him. So he really number one pound for pound, but because he don't have the opposition to prove it, I gotta leave Bud there.
Right.
And the reason I leave Bud there because Bud was there for so long with the same problem Inoue had. He had no opponent to be able to prove it. You feel me? Nobody he could have fought to get in the ring and got in front of besides a Pacquiao who wouldn't fight him at the time that he could have used to prove it with. So he was number one, but he couldn't get a person to get in the ring with him until Earl did. You understand me? So anyway, I think he's number one, but he's going to be number two for now because he don't have that opponent, but that's a bad dude. He's definitely the face of boxing internationally for sure.
Internationally.
And
the atmosphere in Riyadh is thick with what comes next. Whispers have turned into full-blown reports that if both Inoue and Nakatani win their respective bouts this weekend, a massive Night of the Samurai is already being targeted for May 3rd at the Tokyo Dome. This would be the biggest fight in the history of Japanese boxing and a legitimate global super fight. It's the subtext of every interview and the shadow over every training session. The P4P #1 status isn't just about a trophy, it's about the leverage for the biggest payday and the greatest legacy the lower weight classes have ever seen. We are witnessing a total transformation of the sport. The power center is shifting away from the traditional American strongholds and toward the global stage of Riyadh and Tokyo. With Terence Crawford hanging up the gloves, the era of the monster has officially begun. Inoue isn't just a champion anymore. He's a brand, a force of nature, and the undisputed answer to the question of who is the best in the world. As he steps into the ring this weekend, he's not just fighting for belts. He's fighting to prove that even in a world without Crawford, there is only one king.
Depending on how you choose your parameters for pound, my parameter is everything else notwithstanding. If you're both in the same weight class, who kicks whose ass? That's who is number one. And even if you pick Inoue to be number one, if you picture those two guys in the ring, I got Terence Crawford kicking Inoue's ass. So even though I got excited yesterday because of recency bias, I mean, Crawford is the pound-for-pound king, and I think it's really hard to argue that, as good as Inoue looked.
So that's all from today's video. If you enjoyed it, remember to leave a like, subscribe, and ring that bell icon so you never miss our upcoming videos. And don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments section. Stay tuned, and we will catch you in the next video.